What's up, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Shnootz. We're going back to their 1984 self-titled debut album. Thanks to a number of you, I sort of have an understanding now in the way in which, through this album and their short-lived career, they sort of rock the world in terms of achieving significant popularity despite not using the mainstream infrastructure of the music industry. So again, a sort of icon in the indie rock scene. I also have come to a new understanding of what they're capable of, or not capable of, but the diversity of their sound, and that, again, I dated a woman a long time ago who was into the Smiths, and through her I had heard a number of tunes that were sort of like floaty and light, even though it seemed he was singing about some dark things, and I sort of enjoyed the way he could use his voice. But then, during this deep dive, I've already heard a tune like Miserable Lie, where it blew my mind. It sort of, sped up, and it became a very fast, sort of post-punk kind of tune, and he was doing these vocal flares like I never heard on any of the songs that I remembered. So bottom line, I'm already very intrigued. I'm very much enjoying the deep dive, but I'm also having to redefine and expand what I mean when I think of the Smiths, or when I say like, oh, I'm going to listen to a Smiths tune. Obviously, that has a broader definition than I realize. So yeah, already enjoying the deep dive. Hopefully you are too. We're up to the next tune on the album, which is called Still Ill. Obviously there's a rhyming, alliterative quality to it. To take the phrase at face value, it speaks to someone or something that is still plagued, still corrupted by some viral infection, whether that is a literal, like, biological thing, or whether that's, conceptual, and it's, still ill because they still have a sickness of the mind, or still, they're still ill because let's say it's a group or an organization, it's still plagued by infighting or some malady that needs to be ameliorated or rectified. So yeah, it makes me think about a situation in which not only is it bad and has been bad for a while, because you wouldn't say still, you would say that you're ill or you've become sick, but to say still ill is to indicate that this is a condition which has spanned from some undetermined point into the past into the present, but also at the same time it suggests that it's not a permanent or necessary situation, and that illness, generally speaking, is seen as something that can be rectified. Now obviously there are terminal conditions and so on, and that's on a more literal interpretation. But generally speaking, illnesses, viruses, they can be healed, or at the very least they can run their course and the person could return to regular health. So again, whether that's more literal or metaphorical, I feel like there is optimism or potential positivity buried within the negative phrase that there is still illness about. So let's get to it. This is the Smiths, Still Ill, from their 1984 album, or self-titled album.
Today that life is simply taking and not giving. England is mine, it owes me a living.
England is mine?
But ask me why and I spit in your eye. Oh, ask me why and I spit in your eye. But
I like delivering the same line but with different rhythm.
to your dreams anymore. No, we cannot cling to those dreams. Does the body rule the mind, or does the mind rule the body? I don't know. Under the iron bridge we
I love this. I haven't heard this one.
although I ended up with solids, it just wasn't like the old days anymore. No, it wasn't like those days.
But it's interesting, he's still ill. I'm thinking of continuity. He's saying it's not like that anymore. And it's weird, like sonically it's light, but there's a melancholy to it. alliteration and rhyming, like syllable to syllable.
And if you must go to work tomorrow, well, if I were you, I wouldn't bother. For there are brighter sides to life, and I should know because I've seen them, but not very
Eric Idle could tell you about that.
under the iron bridge we cleared.
God, this voice.
And although I ended up with solids, it just wasn't like the old days anymore. No, it wasn't like
But now that I think he's saying it wasn't like, so he's referring to a later past time and then an earlier past time. Say it stripped down quickly and then boom, it ended quickly. Yeah, a very tidy tune, and his vocals on that one really did stand out to me. And once again, I gotta say, it's another track that even though I don't remember ever hearing that one, even again when I had a girlfriend who listened to this, to their material a lot, which it makes me think that she didn't listen to this album. You know, whatever she listened to must have been from like later material they did. In any case, it had this mixture of like, it felt sort of light and sort of happy and floating, but there were sort of like moments and even the overall atmosphere that still felt a little melancholic, a little wistful, a little pensive, which I don't know, it just seems like they can really hit that complicated palette very deliberately and very well. So yeah, lyrically, I gotta hear it some more. Once again, it did sound like he was referring to like an earlier time when it was already very different from an earlier time. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly in what way, like someone or like how the illness is still about. But yeah, I'll listen to it some more. Do let me know if you have an angle on that. Let me know what you think of the sonics and or his singing. Just amazingly impressive. Yeah, and we'll get back to this album soon. I will see you next time. Peace.